For a long time, I thought leaving was the hardest part. I thought strength meant walking away. But what no one tells you is that the real battle begins after you're gone. Because emotional manipulation doesn't end when the relationship ends. It lives on in your thoughts, your habits, and the way you see yourself. Long after the person is gone, their voice stays behind, quietly shaping your decisions. What was happening to me had a name. Psychological manipulation works by slowly replacing your inner voice with someone else's. It doesn't break you all at once. It softens you first. It creates trust, then dependency, then confusion. The affection at the beginning wasn't fake, but it was strategic. It created safety so influence could grow. Once attachment formed, control didn't need force. It only needed emotional leverage. The reason it was so hard to leave wasn't weakness. It was conditioning. My nervous system had learned to associate peace with approval and anxiety with disconnection. Silence became punishment. Warmth became reward. Over time, my body learned to obey before my mind could question. That's why logic alone never felt strong enough. I wasn't choosing with clarity. I was reacting to emotional patterns that had been trained into me. One of the most damaging effects was self-doubt. Manipulation doesn't tell you who to be. It convinces you that you can't trust who you already are. Every time my feelings were reframed, minimized, or calmly dismissed, I learned to second-guess myself. I stopped asking, "Is this okay for me?" and started asking, "Am I being unreasonable?" That shift alone was enough to keep me stuck. Recovery didn't start with understanding him. It started with understanding myself. I had to notice how often I apologized when I wasn't wrong. How often I explained myself when I didn't owe an explanation. And how often I felt guilty for having boundaries. Those patterns didn't come from love. They came from adaptation. They were survival strategies that once protected me, but were now keeping me small. The first step toward reclaiming myself was learning to sit with discomfort. Saying no felt terrifying at first. Not because it was wrong, but because my body expected consequences. I had to retrain my nervous system to understand that discomfort wasn't danger. Silence wasn't punishment. Distance wasn't collapse. Every time I chose myself and survived the anxiety, something rewired. Another step was rebuilding my internal authority. I began asking myself simple questions again. What do I feel right now? What do I want? What am I afraid of? And instead of correcting those answers, I listened to them. Slowly, my instincts returned. My emotions stopped feeling like problems and started feeling like information. The voice that had gone quiet began to speak again. Healing also meant grieving. Not just the relationship, but the version of myself I lost while trying to keep it alive. I had to accept that the beginning was real to me, even if the ending revealed something darker. That grief was necessary. It closed the emotional loop that manipulation tries to keep open. What I learned is this: healthy love doesn't require you to shrink. It doesn't make you question your reality. It doesn't feel like walking on emotional eggshells. Real connection expands you. It allows disagreement without fear. It allows distance without punishment. It allows you to remain whole. Reclaiming yourself after emotional manipulation is not about becoming stronger overnight. It's about becoming honest again. Honest with your feelings. Honest with your boundaries. Honest about what you will no longer tolerate. And every time you choose clarity over comfort, you take your power back. This is how influence loses its grip. Not through confrontation, but through awareness. Not through blame, but through self-trust. And the moment you stop asking for permission to be yourself, control has nothing left to hold on to. This is part 2. And this is where the story turns from survival into freedom.